Hello everybody and welcome to another Toonkind at 12 FPS. I will be your terrorizer DM person for today. I'm Babble. I play Marlyn Mon Rue. Yes, I know, the evil ferret lady, who we all still hate from Scrubby Dubby Duckies. I am joined today by...
Hello, me. That's who they're joined by. I'm Atomic. And I'm going to be playing Mac Lonless, who is the victim of this scenario.
Absolutely. And just Atomic, my beloved. I'm so sorry.
Babble, my beloved. Mar, my beloved.
Oh, same. That being said, so I'm gonna go ahead and start the scene.
Alright.
The day starts off rather normal. It goes about as well as you'd expect given how Mar has been the past couple of weeks. Seemingly antsy and irritated. How many times now has she had her janitors break into her office? I don't know. She doesn't know. She doesn't particularly care. She's not pleased.
Good.
But besides that, she's been losing janitors left and right for a variety of different reasons. And, you know, they were already understaffed. Well, now they're even more understaffed. Regardless of this fact, though, she's still missing something. Something that left a long time ago and has not come back, but has been sending letters to the little shits who keep entering her office. And you know, there's one of them who just might be useful in getting that little shithead back. If they won't stay put, well, she'll get them. In her own way. And what better way than to send someone else that she knows after them? What is said janitor doing today? I assume that it's probably a little later in the evening now.
He's probably just maybe come in from a shift. He's tired, has been to clean themselves up and just decompress a little before maybe heading home. It's just Mac is just tired and not particularly in a talk with your boss kind of mood, which is a shame.
I mean, with Mar, it should be. You shouldn't really want to talk to her at all. Would you say, given how she has probably been working you to the bone, you have a point of exhaustion? Maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Alright.
Between that and, no self-caring on his own time, Mac is not having a good time.
Lovely. Good to know. Well, regardless of the fact that you might not want to talk with your boss wants to talk with you, and so it shall be. And I'm assuming that she knows that you're here. So she's going to make her way down, and I'm going to make... where is her perception? There's her perception. Yeah, I think she finds you pretty easily. The only
Yeah,
warning
Mac
that you get is the
is not
clicking of her
hiding.
feet and her claws against the tiles. Oh, Mac. Darling, I need to talk to you for just a moment before you leave.
Oh, uh, Mar, right. Yeah, of course, of course. Yeah, okay, sure, yeah. And Mac is just going to go along with this.
Follow me to my office, please. And she turns and she continues walking.
Okay, yeah. And Mac's gonna follow because, uh-oh, he might be in trouble. He doesn't know what for, but
Don't worry
he's
about it.
assuming the worst.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. When you get to her office, it is dark, with the only light really coming from the closed shades in the window, almost perfectly highlighting her as she sits down in her chair and gestures vaguely to the seat in front of her.
Mac's gonna he's gonna slither to where the seat is. He's not exactly gonna sit in it, but he's gonna sort of put his head where it would be, above the chair, and sort of wait for whatever punishment or something he might be getting because he's very much assuming the worst.
That's a 10. I think she at least grokes that you're not not that you're wary. Darling, please relax. You're not in trouble.
Are you sure?
No. No, I
Did you
just
double check?
I just need a bit of a favor.
Oh, right. And with that, if Mac had shoulders, they would relax because it's just a friendly favor from his boss. This is much more fine than what he thought. He thought he was going to be fired. Oh my god. So this is much more fine.
Well, for the favor, as you know, there has been an increase in people sneaking into my office, and a significant decrease in other janitors.
Oh, I hadn't noticed
Mm-hmm.
about the people sneaking in. I noticed there's less people around. I didn't know there were people sneaking into your office. What?
She's not even gonna incite that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that
I'm
is.
s- she
I wasn't
already
expecting you to have to do a
knows.
check for that.
Player to player communication for the audience. She already knows that that's bullshit.
If you didn't, I'd be disappointed.
But she is going to listen for a moment before she sets her chin on her hands in front of her. Well, they have been. There's been a surprising increase in people breaking into my office. I had somebody sneak in and bust into my safe the other day. Stole a good few things. Some parcels, even. I don't know exactly
Oh,
who or why anybody would do such a thing.
I didn't know they stole parts.
Regardless, I. Regardless. I suppose I can't really fault some of the people who did it. After all, Jackie was their friend. But they are dangerously close to being fired. We wouldn't want that, now would we?
No, no, we wouldn't. We wouldn't want that at all.
Oh, what's the matter, darling? I know you would never steal from me.
No, I wouldn't, and I didn't. I didn't know anything at all.
I trust you, darling. I trust you completely. You know I do. And that is exactly why that I must ask you this favor. You see, the reason why. I'm sure that you were probably told exactly what it was that was stolen from my office, is that right? At least by this point.
I might have heard rumors
Mm-hmm.
that there was something, and that something might have been um important in some way to someone, theoretically, maybe. But, as I said, I knew nothing. So, eh,
Well, my apologies in advance, but I had to intercept some letters and parcels from dear Jackie. And I have my reasons. See, those were the only traces of Jackie that I had.
I mean, that's reasonable. That's a reasonable thing to do,
You
Max says through gritted teeth.
listen, I can explain, darling. Don't worry about that. It's make me an insight check. And I am going to, and that would be at disadvantage since you are
Yeah.
exhausted, and I am going to make a deception.
Oof.
Oh, she absolutely looks genuinely distraught to you.
Yeah.
She looks genuinely distraught to you.
That's tugging at Max's sense of right. He
Listen,
genuinely feels.
listen, darling. The reason why I had intercepted so much is exactly the way that it seems I had to. They were the only ways that I had any form of lead into finding them again. I don't believe that Jackie did the things that they did out of malice towards me or anyone else here. I also fear that the reason they left wasn't because of anything that was truly their own doing. Darling, I fear that they have been kidnapped or manipulated into, well, staying in a similar situation that they were before meeting that seagull.
Um.
You don't know
Right.
the seagull I'm talking about, do you?
I heard a little bit. It didn't sound good. Jackie, Jackie, they said it was fine, but I.
Of course they said they were fine. They're 7. They're just a child. They don't understand. They don't understand exactly what a parent is, especially since they never really had a parent before. Why do you think I was so adamant? I knew perfectly well the people that were out there in that world. That
Uh,
Admiral Abigail, I believe that she kidnapped them after doing what she did.
oh, so why come to me? I don't know what I can do.
Darling, you've seen how the other janitors that associated with Jackie see me.
Oh,
You
I'm
trust me,
sure.
don't you?
Oh, yeah, of course I do. I could maybe talk to them and, help them see, because you did.
Exactly. They won't listen to me, but they will listen to you. And you are also so incredibly talented at sneaking, darling. You have things that I don't. I'm not able to
Um,
sneak in the same way that you could.
s- sneak into where exactly?
The
It's not going
salty
to be
squabble,
illegal.
dear. Admiral Atricilla, as I call her, as calling her by her first name just seems arbitrary at this point, given the circumstances, is a
Right.
captain
So,
of the salty squabble, dear. And I believe that that is where Jackie is being held captive. After all, if she is traveling around the world, dealing in illegal goods, then why would you let a child roam around the world and keep them anywhere but close to you? Hmm? It makes sense to me that they would be on the squabble. Not to
yeah.
mention that's the ship that all of the letters have mentioned.
So going on to a ship, do you, would so if I went there, if I snuck on, what what would you want me to do to help Jackie?
Yes, darling, I need you to convince the others to go with you onto the squabble and bring Jackie back. Rescue them from that seagull that kidnapped them. Clearly, she's dangerous. I mean, for goodness sake, she deals in illegal goods for one. She's the one that's given them those scars for two. Who knows what else she's done in the time that Jackie has been away and in her care. Quote unquote care.
So so I just get the others on board and then get the others on board the ship.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, darling, you need to be tactful. You are also incredibly smart. I trust you and you alone to wrangle, per se, them and their irrationality, as they are so clearly prone to doing and to being. And she looks around her office, which she has not gotten around to cleaning up since the last time they ransacked it. Um, it seems to you that that is because she is still in shock and distressed from it.
Oh, it would seem that way to Mac.
She certainly looks betrayed. And, well, the Admiral is also smart in a way. Certainly tricksy, I will tell you that much.
Well, if we succeed, then what happens with Jackie if they think that the Admiral's supposed to be caring for them? How will Jackie react?
There's no telling how that child will react, darling. Unfortunately, that isn't something that can be helped. At least not until they're safe. In which
It's
case, they will be safe once they are away from her. And I will
so
ensure that they are properly cared for, perhaps not by me, since they don't seem to want that, but by someone else. And I will make sure that they get some proper therapy to deal with the things that may have happened in that time.
so when we get there, even if they resist, it's for their own good, right?
It is definitely for their own good, darling.
Right.
It. Listen, darling, I know that this is going to hurt. They are going to cry, they are going to scream, they are possibly going to throw a big fit, as most children do when they believe that there is somebody there who loves them, but they don't understand that they are being harmed.
Yeah. Okay. I I
It
can
is
do
one of
that.
those unfortunate situations.
I'm not sure how easy it's gonna be to explain this to the others. I'm not the sort of person with words, but I'll try for them.
All I ask is that you do your best, darling.
Okay.
Now then, to. Hmm, I will be completely honest with you, dear. It disappoints me. I. Hmm, Perhaps a little bit of persuasion may need to be in place for them. Yes?
Well, maybe I could talk to them first before we start, like,
Oh, yes, absolutely. Talk to them first before you plan anything. That will be completely necessary. Uh, but
but
perhaps a little bit of persuasion from me would do some kind of good.
and
You see, I don't want to lose any more janitors, darling. But
right, yeah,
this
of course.
is. And, well, I cannot. See, the breaking into my office is understandable, and I can forgive it. As long as Jackie is brought back, because. Well, since that is a child, and I believe that that child is in danger. that means that they would have been participating in child endangerment, intercepting what I was doing, in trying to find them, stealing my only ways of tracking them down. You understand what I mean, yes? I may have to report them to the police if that happens, if they do not get brought back.
Mac is visibly, like, sinking into the seat at this point.
Darling, I don't want to do that. That is why I say...
I know.
To ask them to be on board. It is an easy fix. You just have to bring Jackie back. It's just that if you don't, or you can't, well, I would have no choice. And,
right.
Well, now that you... Oh, goodness me, I'm so sorry. I should have thought about this beforehand. Oh, no, dear, now that you know that you will also be included in that, I would have to report you as well. I'm so sorry, darling.
Oh
boy, she looks so genuine. God. Oh, goodness, darling. I will do my best to keep you out of there as much as possible, but if things go to worse, you understand that I don't have a choice. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'll do it. I promise. I promise.
You will. That's wonderful to hear, darling. And she comes around to you afterwards, and she rests a hand dangerously close to his throat, seemingly unintentionally, as she leans in close and says, "After all, we both know why it is that you don't work night shifts. And I would hate, absolutely be devastated if you got put in jail. So we all know how the cops can be." In face of things they don't understand. I would hate to see anything horrible happen to you, dear.
Mac is just staring at the floor. He's panicking a lot. Yeah, I get what you mean.
Good, darling. Good. I trust you, and I hope that you trust me. I'm terribly sorry for everything.
No, that's fine. I trust you.
Would you like me to contact your father for you?
No, that's okay too. You don't need to. Everything's fine. I'll do my best. I'll talk to the others. Just Mac is just looking at Mar. He's sunk so low into his chair. He is so full of fear.
Oh, don't be afraid, darling. I will do everything in my power to make sure that things go smoothly. Alright? I just need you to bring Jackie back with the others. That is all I need.
Thank you, Mar, trusting me with all this. It's a lot. I promise I can do this. I can do this.
I wouldn't have trusted anyone else to do the job, dear. Well, this has been a wonderful talk. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope that you have a wonderful night.
Yeah, a wonderful night.
Hopefully the nightmare doesn't get too bad tonight.
Yeah, yeah. And but um I'm what I'm wondering is, what if I'm not the right person and the Admiral knows that you're trying to save Jackie? What if I mess up? I don't want I don't want them to be in danger.
I assure you that Jackie will not be in danger, dear. I will find some way to make sure that they are safe in the end. I will promise you that much.
Okay. Okay, yeah. Mac is coiling in on himself so much. The chair underneath him is practically starting to break.
Mar walks over to the door and opens it for him. You look so exhausted, dear. Go on home. Go on home so that you can rest. It's supposed to be a new moon tonight.
Right, right, yeah. I'll be going then quickly. And Mac's gonna unfurl from the chair and, oh, sorry about that. Could I couldn't pay for it. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about it, darling. I got it covered. Be sure to lock
Okay.
your door, dear.
Yeah.
Who knows
And
how people
with
will react if well, if the nightmare gets loose. And that's all that she says before she closes her office door and lets him leave. Mac, make me an intelligence check.
that's a disadvantage still, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not a high DC. She has made it, in a weird way, pretty obvious.
So what's
You know
that
what?
about a
Fuck you, Dice Parser.
pretty alright DC?
Fuck you, Dice Parser. Mac, you know that she knows.
Yeah.
She knows about what happens at night for poor Mac.
And Mac is shitting himself. As soon as the door closed, he is gasping for breath, thinking, oh God. Oh God. Everything just went wrong for this snake. God, don't laugh like that.
Oh, as soon
Maybe
as
it was
Mac
dry
leaves the
from.
building and gets to his place, oh, you're gonna be afraid of the laugh that I can really do. But I'm gonna, like, how was the walk home for Mac, and what is it like when he does get home?
As he's headed home, there are so many thoughts in his head, like thinking about what's happening or what he thinks is happening with Jackie, what Mar was implying, how he's gonna have to talk to the others about this. It's all overwhelming. It's as he's slithering down the road, like to him it feels like the road's, curving and spinning. He's practically lightheaded at the thought of all of this. And
Poor Bean.
you're the one causing this.
I know I am, and I am slightly sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not that sorry. I just I'm a gremlin. I like raising hell.
I'm actually gonna do
But also, I love Max so much, and I'm so sorry he has to be subjected to Mars' bitchiness.
so a con save at disadvantage. Once he gets home, he sort of slithers in his god awful tiny apartment. He immediately just sort of locks the door. He doesn't even go towards his one mattress with all of his blankets and stuff. He just sort of lays down and just rests. He was drained from the shift and all the shifts before that, but that just drained him mentally.
Yeah.
He can't he can't think of everything that is happening right now. He's just going to let the night happen
Yep.
and just hope the lock stays put.
And, well, would you say that because of the new moon, there is a shift?
Yeah.
Do you want to describe it?
As Mac is on the floor, as it gets close to night, he sort of groans and God, I don't know how to describe this. He looks bigger and he's breathing heavily. Everything's going wrong for the snake tonight. As he remembers what's happening, he sort of tries to slither under his covers to try and not look at himself. But he's sort of looking a lot creepier than before. He's just breathing in and out, closing his eyes, closing all of them, but more start to form, and his entire body is shaking as his color starts to sort of split and turn into multiple hues, like sort of there's darker reds forming and slightest hint of purple. and he keeps closing all these eyes as they form on him, and he's just curling under the covers as much as he can and just dealing with that.
Well, that's an 8. Would you say that it is too big for the covers to hide entirely?
Yeah, his body has grown to be all over the floor. He's basically just hiding his head in his covers now.
Alright, so I'm gonna roll that with advantage. Okay, that's an 8 even with advantage.
Jeez.
Roll me in a perception. And that is at disadvantage with the exhaustion.
Yeah, it's honestly it'd be at stage 2 exhaustion now because of the
boy.
melee. So that doesn't really mean anything other than his speed is halved, but
Yeah.
level 2 exhaustion is in effect. Disadvantage.
Oh Jesus, okay.
Oh, if only that roll could stay, jeez. Oh.
You
Well, he's got all
definitely
these eyes now.
Well, you definitely see a camera flash and there's a shadow. But it's gone too quickly.
Oh. I think despite everything, Mac is going to notice that with one of the eyes that is not under the covers and is going to just immediately try and seek and destroy that. Like, even if it's already, the picture's already been taken. So would I
Well,
like roll to attack the camera, or?
this was done outside your window.
Well, then he is rolling to break the window at the very least.
Oh god, okay. I don't know what the DC for a window is, but I'm gonna say that with what Mac is at the moment, he breaks it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, why even roll for that? He's just going to try and he just throws his now giant tail and just smashes his own window out of a fear reaction at what just happened. And what did that do for him?
Let's roll for initiative real quick.
Oh. And so speed is half.
Let me see for a moment. What
That is
does
my
level...
Oh Jesus, not 20. Yeah, he's hyper aware in this state.
I don't know. Oh boy. Okay. All right. At the moment, all you see is a shadow. What would you like to do with the shadow?
I think after shattering the window, the pain from that is probably going to make Mac, stop and, get back in the moment. And, now realizing that someone is looking at him in this state, he's probably actually going to try and hide, even just like quickly slink into another room. So that would be his action. I'm not sure how.
Go for it. Roll me a stealth.
At disadvantage. Because he's tired and mentally exhausted and is not thinking clearly. Oh man, 2 nat 20s in a row.
God, I wish.
There it is. So would you say a 13 is enough for Mac to get out of sight into another room very quickly?
In a reasonable amount of time, yeah.
Alright, so Mac is gonna, after shattering the window, he's going to think, oh shit. And then immediately this giant, horrific-eyed snake thing is just going to take off in a flash of colors, reddish colors, all through the doorway into another room. Probably the bathroom.
Alright.
Wait, I should have had you roll to see which room.
I'm going to make her a perception check.
Her? I wonder who it could be.
That is an 11. Well, shit. And that would probably take her action. Is there anything else that Mac would want to do?
I think Mac's just gonna stay hidden in this other room and try and slow his breathing somewhat, even though he's not in the best state right now.
That is valid. Well, then I am going to have her cast Misty Step. And if that is, roll me a Constitution save to see how well you manage to quiet your breathing.
Okay, con save at disadvantage.
So not great, but you're halfway there.
It's from what it was before.
21.
It's very audible. Oh god.
And she's found you. But she's not going to do anything quite yet.
So, as for right now, she just sees Mac in this bathtub.
She
All
just
of it
knows where
is
he is.
coiled up, and he's just trying his best to hide behind the curtain.
Well, she is going to cast Misty Step again. And poor Mac. You now have Mar next to you, and she looks as if she's doting on you. And I'm going to make Deception. Sweetheart, what happened?
Mac seeing Mars, now plainly seeing what he is, he's just gonna put his head down and just start groaning. You get the feeling that even if he could, he wouldn't have anything to say.
Don't worry, I can make all of this go away. And she casts Modify Memory. Make me a wisdom saving throw, dear.
Oh my god.
Oh god, that's
Mac is just in the bathtub crying as this happens. He's not even looking up at her.
Don't worry, darling, I can make this all go away. None of this ever happened. It was just a nightmare, an awful dream. And as she's saying this, would you say that because her voice is so soothing and your memories are starting to be altered as you start to forget the last 10 minutes of what has been going on, Max starts falling asleep?
Yeah.
And as soon as he is asleep, she dips. And Mac, you have no idea when you wake up the next day that any of what happened last night happened with Mar. At least, not at Mac's place.
Yeah. So
he remembers the conversation, but not that anyone took a picture of him, and not that Mar was there.
So
God.
when Mac is waking up in the bathtub, he's just so drained. But for some reason, he feels like, despite last night being a new moon, it actually was a somewhat deep sleep. Usually he feels a lot more drained. And as he leaves the bathroom to get ready for work, knowing what he now has to do for convincing the others, he sees his broken window and he's just gonna sigh like, if it wasn't the lock breaking, he would have broken something else. Of course he would have. This stupid state of his. And he's just gonna sigh and go, I'm gonna need to pay that off. I'm gonna need to ask Mar for more shifts. And he's gonna get ready for work and whatever comes after that. None the wiser.
Well, while that is going on in the morning, I think we're gonna end this part with a little scene from Mar after the events of last night. And she is sitting in her office, just humming to herself, her legs on her desk, in a beautiful red dress, looking at the photo that she got. and knowing that she has Mac around her fingers. She smiles an evil smile, knowing that nobody's going to show up for another hour, at the very least. And she muses to herself. Good. Good. Just how I like it. You've eluded me once, Jackie. I tried to make you see. Keep you put. No one must find out the things that I have done, and you were the only lead to it. You wouldn't stay put, you tiny little shit. That's alright, though. I can rectify that. Just a little bit of a suggestion. And I'll have your friends dragging your punk butt back here, or I can silence you once and for all. Oh, it feels good to be bad. To see you suffer would be lovely, darling. And you will. Thank you for listening, everybody. I hope you enjoyed.